Hi, listeners, and welcome back to The Good Pod. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who helps steer the ship here at the Village, our board president, Richard. Richard joined us after an incredible 35-year career in executive management, leading operations and sales for major companies. But even during those busy years, he has always made time to coach, mentor, and serve the Pleasanton community. He's been involved in everything from Special Olympics to Operation Cranberry Sauce, and now he's using his leadership to make sure Goodness Village is a place where our neighbors can truly find a fresh start. Richard, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you very much, Jackie. Pleasure to be here.
Good. What was it that led you to spend your retirement years focused so heavily on local nonprofits, specifically our mission at Goodness Village?
Well, actually, Jackie, I was very involved in volunteer work before I retired, so it was a fairly easy transition to go from a business career to spending more of my personal time focused on trying to help people that are less fortunate. One of the things I initially did was I established a plan with some goals and objectives when I retired. I recommend anybody at that stage in their life to do that so that you're not just sitting around. My engagement with Goodness Village was by chance. I had a business colleague who kind of informed me about the concept here at the Village, and I immediately realized that it met my abilities and my skill set, and so I wanted to actively get engaged, primarily because I realized that, number one, the homeless situation here in the Valley is not maybe easily visible, but it is here. Mm-hmm. Two, what made, to me, unique about Goodness Village was the fact that not only were we providing, the unsheltered permanent housing, but we were providing them with the resources and the skills to help them basically recover, heal, and thrive, which was just great. The second thing was that, when I looked at it in terms of, actually the third thing, when I looked at what the need was, it was obvious that we need to create awareness about the village and the community. It was just getting started. At that time, the homes were just sitting in the parking lot. And so one of my skill sets is creating networking to get the business community engaged in what we were trying to do here and allow us to sustain and grow the village. So I thought that was critically important, and it met a lot of my abilities. And finally, I've been blessed my whole life, and quite frankly, I believe we're here on this earth to try and help those that are less fortunate. Mm-hmm. And so I was immediately challenged to try and get engaged and make a difference, which I was pleased to do.
And we're happy to have you doing that. Not a lot of people have been here since the tiny homes have been in the parking lot, so you really have been here from the beginning.
Yes, I have. And it was interesting because one of the things that was going on here was a lot of people were looking to buy those homes, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. They thought that they were for sale when they were sitting in the parking lot. We, of course, had to inform them, no, this is really to try and help those that are less fortunate. So it was great to see how fast we got them installed and up and running by June of 21.
Now, Richard, you mentioned that it was easy for you to go from business to nonprofit life. Could you specifically let our listeners know how you apply those business skills to being on the nonprofit board?
Well, very similar to business environment, it's all about teamwork and accountability and having focused on the mission. And you have to realize, even in a nonprofit world, you can't do it all by yourself. Mm-hmm. You need to have a team of individuals that are really focused on trying to make a difference for those that are less fortunate. For the board, our main focus is oversight. Really, we're here to try and support the staff to allow them to make a difference with those neighbors living in the village, and to ensure the program has integrity and is in compliance with all the requirements of running a nonprofit, and the fiduciary responsibility to ensure that we have the monetary resources to operate the village in an efficient, effective manner. We also work closely with the executive director on the strategic plan And our overall role is governance. Although the board is engaged on an ongoing basis, we're not here running the operations on a daily basis. So it's important for us to trust and support the team that's out there caring for our neighbors. I might add that we have an outstanding staff here dedicated to making it happen at the village every day. As the board ourselves, we ask ourselves, what actions and work efforts are we focused on that will support the staff and have a positive impact on the lives of those neighbors living in the village? It's important also to understand that the board members are all volunteers and that believe in the mission. And as the leader of that team, it's important for me to understand the skills and the experience and the knowledge of all the team members on the board and encourage them all to work collectively to work at a top level. We're also, I believe, a vital voice in the community to create awareness and engagement of business and local leaders to support the mission. I really believe having a purpose in what we're trying to do is important. So we always say as a group, it's all about the neighbors.
That's really nice. Nice reminder. And for our listeners who have been curious, our website lists the bios for all of our board members, including yourself, Richard. And you have a long list of services and organizations that you've been a part of, from youth sports to Driver for Survivors. So out of all of those experiences, what is a specific moment that really fueled your passion to help our neighbors and our mission at Goodness Village?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, I have an experience that I get every year. It's a special thing that a very close friend of mine, Pete, and I do on an annual basis, and you mentioned it earlier, Operation Cranberry Sauce. It's really an outreach program we run for low-income families in the area to provide them with a meal package on Thanksgiving. The whole concept is to be able to provide them that meal package the Saturday before Thanksgiving so they can take it home and cook a home-cooked meal on the holiday. And we've been doing this for over 20 years. It takes a lot of effort. We have a lot of volunteers, but the experience is really rewarding to see those families receive a meal from us when they are challenged on a daily basis, and how appreciative they are of what we're doing. It's just an amazing, rewarding experience. And I can tell you, every year when we do it, it's a lot of work. We work from August to November, a lot of effort and coordination. But at the end of the day, when we see those and witness those families having such a great experience and so thrilled to receive the gift, they don't realize they're giving us a gift. And at the end of the day, I can tell you, quite frankly, when we're done and we're seeing the families get the meals, I get a little choked up every year. So I'm very fortunate that I have that experience every year.
Amazing. As board president, Richard, you get to see the big picture where a lot of us may not be able to see the big picture. So when you personally are looking ahead to the next few years for Goodness Village, what is one thing that you're most excited or hopeful about?
Well, from a big picture perspective, Jackie, one of the key critical things is to sustain and grow the village that we've created. In the next few years, I hope that we get new and additional members to join the board. It's important to get new blood into what we're trying to do. Over the last year or so, we've had many of our original board members term out. And we have some coming up also for terming out on the board itself. For me, it's been 5 rewarding years, and I'm still here. But that said, it's important that we get new energy, new focus and compassion, new ideas to help us expand and enhance what we're doing here at the village, and also to expand our network outside in terms of awareness. For the village itself, we have over 200 neighbors that are currently on the wait list. So we must find a way to expand the village and to get more opportunity to take care of those neighbors that are sitting out on the streets. We know the Goodness Village model works. We have a proven track record over the last 5 years. We've been able to support over 50 previously unsheltered neighbors, which is a proven track record of success for us. Many of those families, many of those members rather, have reconnected with their families, which is great. It's outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
We also, unfortunately, lost 5 neighbors during our time here, but they passed away with dignity in a community environment rather than living on the streets. And so it's important for us to celebrate their lives at the village, which we do every day. Through the efforts of many people that have been involved in the village, including the board, but also the staff and volunteers, I think we're very well positioned for the future. And we have a great team here that's making a difference every day. Because of these efforts, we are recognized really as a leader in terms of handling or dealing with the homeless challenge in our community. I am confident that working with the state, the local municipalities, local government, and business leaders, we're able to find additional space and resources to expand the village to handle those additional folks that are in need.
Mm-hmm. And that's the dream, to just keep the goodness spreading.
Absolutely.
Would you say that there is a specific interaction, either with the staff member on the team or one of our neighbors, that's really stuck with you and kind of kept that passion for you to keep supporting us?
Yeah, I believe making a commitment in the nonprofit world is a privilege and an honor. People often ask me, because now I'm retired, why do I spend so much time, especially my wife, spending on trying to make a difference here at the village? And it's hard to explain unless you're engaged in doing it. And so I encourage everyone that has an opportunity to make a difference to get involved, to help somebody in their life. When you look at it, by the grace of God, you could be in that situation.
Absolutely.
And I've been very fortunate. So why is volunteering important to me? To me, it's the ultimate assignment to take all of your life experiences and skills and be able to share them with somebody and help them improve their life. It also is a wonderful way to gain perspective on your own situation and have you be more appreciative of what you have, you know? And so I think that's been a profound positive experience for me. Today, in this current highly volatile environment, we need more effort out there to make a difference. And with Goodness Village, I received a gift my first year on the board. I was working cranberry sauce, which we mentioned before, as an outreach program. And during the October-November timeframe, we try to engage a lot of the congregation here to help us financially as well as volunteering to make a difference with that program. One of the neighbors was working the coffee stand to kind of pay for their rent. And he approached me and said, Richard, I understand you're on the board of Goodness Village. I said, yes, I am. And he said something profound to me that I'll never forget. He said, I just want to let you know you saved my life. There's nothing more important than that. So that's been a great experience for me.
That's kind of a good segue into our next question. For someone who may be listening to this episode and is more involved in the business or corporate world and is trying to figure out how their professional skills would fit into the nonprofit world, what advice would you give them?
Well, my advice is always to seek out what you believe you can contribute to make a difference in helping others. My brother, as an example, just recently retired, and we had this conversation last summer. First thing I asked him is, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do with your retirement life? Look at what maps to your skill sets and your abilities and get engaged and just go for it. He's now working at a local soup kitchen 3 days a week, and he is just loving it.
Oh, nice.
For those, looking to get involved in a worthwhile cause, I always say, don't worry too much about whether you're going to fit in. I find that a lot when I'm trying to recruit people for the board. They're concerned about whether they can make a difference or whether they can contribute based on what their experiences are. And I tell them, if you've worked in the business world, I can guarantee you there are multiple ways you can contribute. From a board perspective, we're always looking at what our skill gaps are and in terms of the talent to try and enhance what we're doing on the board. We actually have a recruitment committee that from the board that seeks out those folks to kind of map to those skills and experience to address those areas where we have a need. That said, it always starts in my mind, do you want to get involved and make a difference in the lives of those that are less fortunate? When making a commitment, you got to recognize that although you're working hard in many cases, it takes time, and the effort in return is not always immediately achieved. But that to me is okay. Just don't give up. Keep focused on the mission. I can guarantee you that your experience will enhance your life and well-being. As I said before, the rewards in helping others is immeasurable, and making a difference in somebody else's life is what it's all about. So to me, Jackie, the message is simple. Get involved. You are needed. You'll make a difference, and you won't regret it.
Okay, guys, you heard that from Richard. He's our board president. Before we get into the final question for you, we have a fun segment that we created called the Boardroom.
Okay.
Which is just a couple fun questions for our listeners to get to know you a little bit better. So Just answer the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you these questions. Are you a check the news and emails first thing in the morning person, or do you prefer a quiet cup of coffee?
I have to have my coffee in the morning, and I probably do both at the same time.
So you've coached a lot of youth sports. What is the number one rule or piece of advice you always gave your players?
What I always had 3 objectives when I was coaching. I had winning teams. I had losing teams. It didn't matter. It was all about playing as a team, number 1. Number 2, hopefully that the player enhanced their ability over the year, that by our coaching, they got better. And number 3, most importantly, they'd want to come back and do it again.
Mm-hmm. I imagine that's very similar to running the board.
It is. You want your folks, you want to look at their talents and their experience and map them to a team effort, and you want them to be engaged and feel like they're rewarding the experience and want to continue to contribute in any way.
And constantly growing and learning about themselves in the process.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And by the way, even though I'm 73, you're learning every day. I firmly believe that.
If you could go back to your very first job and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
That's a good question. My first job, believe it or not, was in managing at a gas station. And I learned a lot from the owner. I would say just take it all in and take all the experiences and all the interactions you have with everyone over your lifetime and take those in and utilize them to apply to make yourself better.
After a long board meeting, what is your favorite spot in Pleasanton to grab a bite to eat?
Oh, that's a good question, too. Pleasanton has changed a lot. As far as the restaurants downtown, they're pretty good. There's an excellent Mediterranean restaurant that my wife and I like to go to. And it escapes me the name right now, but it's right on Main Street. And we enjoy that very much.
Nice. We love Mediterranean food here. Last question for you. What is it about this specific town that makes it such a special place to build a community like Goodness Village?
Well, I think the important thing is that we have the space and the capability to take care of these neighbors. And I know in a lot of cases, people are concerned about homeless. They have a different feeling of what those individuals are because they've been on the streets for a long period of time. They may not act as well as maybe somebody that you interact on a daily basis, but they're great individuals. And my experience interacting with the neighbors has just been tremendous. I enjoy the experience every time. And so I think having a space where you're not necessarily, the old saying, it's not in my neighborhood kind of concept, but this works very well here on the church property here. There's an opportunity to expand it on the other side, which is great. But the county and the cities really have to look at how we address this challenge long term. And we've got to start to get engaged with the local community to address it, especially when we have so many people that are sitting on the wait list that need our care and our help.
And even the people who aren't on the wait list, who still need our care and our help.
Absolutely. That's why the program's great, I feel, because it's unique. Its unique value proposition is that it provides those resources and those skills to help them get back on their feet, which is critically important. And the whole concept of the community, creating that community that just makes a difference and makes them feel that they're really part of a home that they can live with and enjoy their life long term.
Absolutely. Something I always say when people ask me how much I love Goodness Village is that I say it goes beyond just four walls.
No doubt. It's all about the community.
Absolutely. So please finish this sentence for us. Being a good neighbor means ...
To me, it's always being there if you can contribute when the call to act comes. That's the way I think about it. So if somebody is in need and you have the ability and you can do it, don't hesitate. Get involved and help them.
Nice. Any final words for our listeners before we let you go?
No, I just hope that anyone listens to this has an opportunity to come and visit the village, see what we're doing here, and get engaged and help us make a difference in those that have been less fortunate. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Richard, for being here. Thank you for helping us make Goodness Village a reality for our neighbors, and we're so grateful to have you as our board president.
Well, thank you for your time, Jackie. I really appreciate it.
And as always, listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to The Good Pod, share this conversation with your community, and stay tuned for more stories. And remember, being a good neighbor isn't about where you live, it's about how you show up. Until next time. Thank you for listening to the Goodness Village podcast. Production and recording was done by the Goodness Village operations team with support from Crosswinds Church. Music was provided by Blue Dot Sessions. If you want to know more about Goodness Village, visit us at gvlivermore.org. Thanks again for listening to The Good Pod.